What's up, YouTube? It's Baker again, Blue Line Morphs. I've mentioned doing this video a couple times in the previous couple videos. This video is going to be all about the highs and lows. You are not eating my cheeseburger. This video is going to be all about the highs and lows of Craigslist, the do's and don'ts, why it's good, why it's bad, and why it's bad. Sorry about that. I got a cheeseburger waiting for me and Shelby's trying to eat it on me. So I'm probably going to give her half anyway. So Craigslist, you can get great deals off of there. You can find and meet great people. It also can be very dangerous, right? The reality is you're meeting people most of the time at night you've never met before. You don't know who they are. And they're selling you a snake in like a parking lot, right? Everyone that's bought or purchased a snake on Craigslist knows exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes it even gets as sketchy as getting in the car with somebody else. Now me, I can handle my own, and I've always got 16 reasons on my hip why I'm going to get out of there, either a snake or my money back. So I just want to say, before I even tell you about some of my experience with Craigslist, just be careful, right? Because there are weird people in this world. There are scumbags in this world. There are people that try to rip you off, which I'm going to talk about, and it could be dangerous. You never know what's going to happen out there. So, with that being said, I'm going to start with a good experience first. Now, yesterday's video, you met Saul, okay? I met Saul on Craigslist. Well, I'm not going to explain exactly what happened, because the last video, I told you about how I met him. He's my buddy now. He's my friend. And that's one of the good things about Craigslist. You can meet great people. I'll tell you another story about that. So I met up with a guy. He was selling a lesser pastel het pied female, which you met, from South Shore Serpents. Now, I had messaged this guy, emailed him, and I was waiting to meet up with him. Sorry, he was waiting to meet up with me. I had gotten stuck at work, right? I had to tell him, listen, I'm a cop. I'm stuck at work. I apologize. I'll be out soon. The guy waited for me. The guy waited till like 11 o'clock at night. He shows up in his pajamas and his truck and sells me the snake. Now, since that day, I've been buddies with him. I text him, I have a problem. He lets me know. He's honest with me, and he helps me out. Again, I run things past him, and he's always been an absolute gentleman. That's a good experience with Craigslist. Now, let me tell you a bad experience with Craigslist. Like I mentioned when I introduced Big Mama, I overpaid for her, number one, right? So this guy knew I was just getting into quote unquote breeding ball pythons. Why? Because I'm an honest, transparent person. I told him, listen, I'm just getting started. What do you got? What do you think? He's like, oh, I got this great big female. She's normal, but she might be pregnant, right? He's telling me she locked like an orange dream, yellow belly, something, right? Which was completely total bullshit. He was just trying to get me to pay $300 for a normal ball python, which I did. I ended up paying $300 for a 2,600 gram normal. Now I'm happy I did, okay? Because I love Big Mama. She's a savage now. She's 4,100 grams. But this guy ripped me off, right? He lied to me. He sold me a little gimmick. Now, because I bit into it, because I was a little embarrassed I did bite into it, he continued to look, she's in. Was she in? Is her head? He texted me again because I gave him my phone number, and he tried to sell me a lesser clown male for $500. Told me it was a killer clown, right? So it looked really yellow to me. So I'm like, oh, it looks really yellow. The other ones have like white on them. He's like, no, the yellow ones are more expensive, blah, blah, blah. This guy was trying to scam me. So be careful with people like that, because there are people out there that will try to make the quick buck off you, will try to scam you. Obviously, now that I'm more experienced in the ball python game, I'll call them out for both things. But I didn't. I got overpaid for Big Mama, which I'm not overly concerned about. I'm happy I didn't buy the other clown snake. Looking down at my cheat sheet. So now I mentioned that I have like a quote unquote silent partner. I'm going to ask him first if I can actually talk about what he did for a living. Let's just say he did the same thing I did. And I met him because he posted online that he was selling a killer leopard clown female, like 1,400 grams for $1,800. So I messaged him, and we were going back and forth. He was kind of distant. I'm not going to lie, he was kind of a dick, right? He was being short, a little arrogant, and he was testing my nerve. So eventually, I just responded out of habit and said 10-4. Which, is a radio code for affirmative or correct or, understood or read. And he was like, wait, are you a cop? I was like, oh, shit. I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, I am too. And his attitude instantly changed, right? So he was retired off the job. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to buy that python from him because talking to me kind of got him going again. Now he wants to breed. But with that being said, he's joining forces with me at Blue Line. So it's really not that big of a deal. Another bad experience. I had gone down to South Carolina to visit my mom who lives in there. My mom, my grandfather, my brother lived down there. and I was on Craigslist just looking around, trying to see if there's anything for sale. I ran across a normal pied female for, I think it's $800. So I had texted, we had worked our way through it. We ultimately settled on $550, right? Which I didn't mind paying for a normal pied female because she was weighing in, I think, 14 or 1,500 grams. So she's almost ready to breed. So you know what? I'll dish out the money and I'll save myself 2 years of trying to raise this snake up. So I go down there. I brought my tub. I brought a heat pad. I brought water bowls. A whole little temporary setup to have my mom's house while I'm down there for 10 days. I was actually very excited about this snake, right? Because it could kickstart my pied. Even though it's just a normal, I can start producing pied snakes with my banana pied. I get down there, we're texting, and we do the sketchy meetup. This time, I chose the place. I chose it in a movie theater parking lot. We get there. It's her. It's actually a female, which I didn't realize, and her boyfriend. So right away, she hands me the snake. It's probably about her size, right? This is Luna. This is my bell, my white diamond. So it was about 1,400, 1,500 grams. So now I'm looking at it, I hand the money over. I'm not worried about it. Like, if I don't want you leaving with it, trust me, you're not leaving with it. So I'm talking to her, and I'm bullshitting just like we always do. And I can see they started getting a little, they started doing the perp walk, which I call it, right? Like, if you stop somebody in the street, all of a sudden they start looking around, right? Because they're going to take off on you, right? Everyone knows what I'm talking about. They started doing that to me. Obviously, they're not going to take off. They're going to get in the car. But, so I'm like, something's up here. I don't like this situation. So I popped it. Out came the hemipene. So I'm looking, and I'm like, all right, I'm not that experienced, but I know what a snake penis looks like, right? So I actually sent a picture to Saul. I said, bro, what do you think? It was male. Absolutely male. I'm like, that's what I thought. She's like, no, this chick tries to tell me, no, this is a female. Females have small receptors that come out. Now, this receptors, they were this big. I said, hun, females don't have penises. It is 2020. I get it. But in snake world, females don't have penises. She's like, no, look, I'll pop it better for you. Now she's cranking on the snake. I'm like, relax. You're going to hurt the snake. She goes, no, I know how to pop it, right? So one thing that, actually, backtrack, one thing that I knew right away was a male. When I popped it, sperm popped out, right? It looked like you popped a zit. And a little bit of white stuff came out. So I saw that. That's when I popped it further. I saw the hemipene. She was trying to sell me a male, which is probably worth, $200? A 1,400 gram normal pie male, $200, $250. She's trying to almost triple her money. Now, that right away put a bad taste in my mouth. So I looked at the boyfriend. I handed back the snake. I looked at the boyfriend. I said, yeah, I'm not interested. And at first, he was a little hesitant, but then I think he thought otherwise about doing that. So I got my money back on that. Now, she also brought with her a clown. Again, you know I love clowns. Now, this clown, she said it was a lesser pastel clown. I'm looking at it, and it did look like a lesser pastel clown. But at this point, you already tried to scam me on the pie, so why should I believe you otherwise? And so I kind of called it quits. Just to throw, a little salt in the wound. I said, hey, I'll give you $150 for that male pie, by the way. But that was me being a jerk, because, you try to screw me, I'll screw you. No problem. So that was another experience I had on Craigslist. Like, this person tried to scam me quickly, because if I didn't pop it, right? If I didn't pop it and I just handed over $550, she would have been out of there. Right? She would have sold, a $300 snake for $550, $600, and been gone. And that's just not the right thing that you should be doing. I've also I got my banana pie on Craigslist also. Now, I met up with a guy in Brooklyn. Again, a little sketchy in the neighborhood, but I feel comfortable doing it. If you're going to meet up with people, bring someone with you. Tell somebody you're going. Put your location on for somebody if you got an iPhone, whatever the case may be. I met up with this kid. He actually was going to Puerto Rico on vacation, so he wanted the extra money. So he sold it for like $300, $350. Another good experience. I got my breeder male pied from Craigslist. So that's really my experience on Craigslist so far. I had some good ones. I had some bad ones. Ultimately, I think I had good ones over bad ones. But again, you just got to be careful. I really feel like I had to do a video on this. Again, I feel comfortable meeting up with people and buying snakes off Craigslist, but you should really, really be careful. Because some people are just in it for the money. They're not in it for the animals. They're not in it for the well-being of the animals, right? It should be hobby and animal over profit. But a lot of people aren't like that. And even when I picked up Big Mama, I went to this guy's house. He had a nice big house on Long Island on the North Shore, which is, money. Old money, they call it. And I walk in there, and he had these snakes in a... Like, I had the aquarium here, but he had, just a ball python in the aquarium, no heat pad, and, a little hive. And you could see, just the way he had all the snakes set up, he was breeding them, or he was trying to breed them, or maybe, he might have just been a snake flipper, to be honest with you. But he wasn't looking after the well-being for the snake. And, one more story. I got my retic off of Craigslist. Met a guy, and that's one thing you should do. If you're going to buy a snake, I really feel like maybe we shouldn't meet up on Craigslist. Shouldn't meet up on the parking lot. And you should see the facilities you're getting it from. So I went to this guy's house, his condo rather, and he showed me exactly what he has. And it was a pristine environment, right? All the animals were set up nicely. The humidity was good. The rats were good. The water was good. The animals looked great. So you saw where your snake's coming from. That is the sketchy part about getting snakes from Craigslist, is you may not know where they're getting from. You got to be careful with buying them also, because you don't know if you're buying a sick snake, right? You might have some crazy deal, or you might think you're getting some cheap snake, some expensive snake for cheap. Maybe it's got mites. Maybe it's got a respiratory infection. You don't know. Maybe it's got scale rot. So you just gotta look. So also when you meet up with these people, maybe just look at some pictures of mites or scale rot, or just look for the bubbling, or the raspiness when they're breathing, because you never know if they're trying to unload a sick snake, right? So just because they're being scum and they're selling an $800 snake for $400 and think it's a quick sale, they're gonna bang in and out. They got you. Also, you bring it back and you put it in your rack. Now you got mites in your house. You got mites all over your snake. Or if it's a respiratory infection, maybe it'll spread, right? So I think you should be cognizant of that. Now, this girl around my neck here, I got her and the freak female I have, the 5 genes, for $600 total of Craigslist. Someone else's misfortune. Not misfortune. They got into the hobby. They were moving to Florida. They wanted to unload their snakes. I was there. I had the money. $600 for 2 snakes. Probably worth $1,500 combined. So those are my highs and lows with Craigslist. I'm sure you guys got some stories. Message me on Instagram, blue_line_morphs. Tell me your stories on Craigslist. Once these 2 clutches come, I'm going to sell them on Craigslist. Again, I feel comfortable meeting up on Craigslist. But just be careful. I think it is dangerous. I think you can get screwed. You can't get sick snakes. But with that being said, you can also meet great people, meet great friends, which I have done, lifelong friendships, and you can get some really great snakes for cheap. So, good luck. Keep your eye on Craigslist, because you never know what you're going to find. Be careful. Always be safe. And remember, always watch the 6.